Moving over to the NFL, the National Football League here in America. Two big things. Drew Brees, shots fired at Roger Goodell in terms of the entirety of the Deflategate scandal, and of course more words for the commissioner, and also the potential of the Oakland Raiders moving to, of all places, the desert, Las Vegas. All right, so we start with Drew Brees because Drew Brees said this: the New Orleans Saints quarterback said Goodell's ability to serve as, quote, judge, jury, and executioner has been a black eye for the NFL. I think we would all agree that he definitely has too much power, Brees told SportsIllustrated.com. He is judge, jury, and execution when it comes to all the discipline. I'm not going to trust any league-led investigation when it comes to anything. It's not transparent, he continues to say. Forget the issues at hand here with Deflategate or whatever you want to call it, Brees told the Dan Patrick Show. This time, I think this was an issue again where the commissioner's authority was challenged, and the league is going to do whatever they can to make sure they know that he is in a position to make these types of unilateral decisions. There's nothing there's nothing anybody can do about it. Favorable quarterback who's always pretty much been in the good section, not the evil, the good section of the NFL over his career. Super Bowl winner. Yes, Bounty Gate was a problem, but I don't think that was even close to on Drew Brees. That was really on the defensive side of the field. This is one of the bigger names to come out and really, really take shots at Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
In general, you deal with so much corruption in your sport that all these shots don't even have less weight now just because it's so assumed. But we do see an abuse of authority from Roger Goodell, and he's been constantly made fun of by the media, been constantly taking shots from the media to Roger Goodell, but now we see with Drew Brees. In general, what do you do in this situation?
I mean, I think that he's not off base with his comments in a way, but judge, jury, and executioner is kind of a funny way to put it because
it's not Game of Thrones.
But he's a judge, jury, and executioner on specific subjects that he feels strongly about almost, right? So if it's an abuse, if it's use of marijuana, he's judge, jury, and he's a fucking executioner, and he comes down on people, and he'll make sure to hand out harsh punishments, and then when you look at it in comparison to much more severe issues as to what we think, it doesn't,
Greg Hardy.
Yeah, it doesn't give as much or anywhere as near a harsher punishment, so it's not as much that I think that he's a ridiculous, I would say a dictator in his abuse of power. I think that he's just inconsistent. That's the best word I can use to describe Roger Goodell. In my short time and my love for football as it's grown, we all know this, and American sports. Thanks for the comments. Keep them coming. I like to see the positivity. Whoa. That was a lot of words in a breath. I do feel like I have an honest opinion on when it comes to leaders of these sports because, yes, I don't care if you don't like me bringing in football. I have been grown up in a game where our boss or our leader or our commissioner is a twat. An absolute twat, or was a twat before he got overthrown from power, and still is a twat. So I am very aware of how much a commissioner or anyone or president in charge can influence a game and make it worse, bottom line is. Because I see commissioners in a similar role as I see referees. You're there to make sure that you're navigating things. You're not there to try and stamp your power on it so that 10 years from now, everyone's like, remember that guy Goodell? Yeah, what a commissioner he is. You should not be known. People shouldn't care what your name is because you should be there almost as a silent assassin just to make sure that everything goes as planned. But there's this ego side to American sports, man, and it happens in football as well, trust me. But American sports, so many egos in so many positions, and I know you need to be a strong character to handle this amount of testosterone-driven men in a sport like the NFL. But you need to also do it in a way that doesn't put your name in the spotlight more than they do. Roger Goodell's name shouldn't be on as many headlines as it is. That's the bottom line. He has differing views when it comes to drug abuse in the league, where it's marijuana. Like, just stop that shit. Like, it's weed, man. The quicker we get over that. But I also understand the other side where me and you sometimes disagree, but often do not agree on the fact is that if the rules are there in place, don't abuse them. You're given the ability and the privilege.
Right. If you sign on the dotted line, sorry.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about here. If someone does break the rules, yes, they should be punished, but they shouldn't be punished in, I would say, in a similar measure to someone who's beaten someone outside of the sport and bringing such a negative light to it that way. So that's my problem.
It's always been a consistency problem with Roger Goodell, and every time we think like, okay, he has to take this as the lesson learned and start making consistent decisions throughout his career. Yeah. And don't forget, the owners fucking love Roger Goodell. Yeah. Not all of them, I can't generalize every single owner, but the majority. If there were a vote to overthrow Roger Goodell as commissioner, guarantee it, I promise you, the owners would never, in a majority decision, vote in favor of that, him being overthrown. because they're in the pockets of him and he's in the pockets of them. They know the long-term gain is that Goodell's going to make them money. So they don't care what these decisions are. They don't care about Deflategate. They don't care about Drew Brees' comments. The owners care about how Roger Goodell is going to create something, a product, in this case, a service, that is going to make stacks of cash. Yeah. I mean, taller than our rundown bar. Stacks.
That tall?
That tall.
I never thought anything could get
big.
that tall.
So, in terms of that, though, how's another way to make money? Well, the Oakland Raiders, I guess in general, aren't making so much money anymore. Their franchise, not necessarily in turmoil. Derek Carr for the Raiders has brought them a new lease on life in terms of maybe making the playoffs this upcoming season. Amari Cooper's a hell of a wide receiver, but they might not be playing in Oakland for much longer. According to ESPN, Las Vegas could be a destination after their one-year lease. I love how this is worded because it sounds to me like it's a car lease. Like, oh yeah, if you want to stay in Oakland, football team, we'll give you no money down, 2-year option, and if you feel like you want to stay, we'll just, here it goes. You know what? We'll throw in air conditioning and a full sound system.
But do you know what you're gonna need? Fucking air conditioning? The desert. Like, why? Like to think about you sending a lease, like that's like someone saying to me, all right, Dan comes up to me, we're gonna send you to Vegas to work for the year, and I'm gonna be like, oh, why? Why are you sending me there? Why? Like, Vegas is good for 2 days. Everyone knows that Vegas is good for 2 days, and the day after, you hate yourself, you hate the drive, you hate everyone. Then that's the only place that I don't want to shit on people that live in Vegas, but I'm going to shit on people that live in Vegas. Why are you doing it? I don't understand.
There's many reasons why I can never live in Vegas.
Yeah. We know this.
I'd be so fucking broke. The quote in itself, the two quotes in itself from ESPN on Las Vegas. And the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders have signed a 1-year lease for 2016 season, full audio system, sunroof at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. The lease includes 2 one-year options for 2017 and 2018, but financial developments have added incentives to relocate. The Raiders' rent tripled in the agreement, and they have lost revenue from stadium naming rights when O.co opted out of its agreement in early April. It used to be the O.co Coliseum. We continue. Davis, as in the owner of the Oakland Raiders, has met with the Adelson and toured UNLV's Sam Boyd Stadium as a potential temporary home. The location for the proposed Las Vegas Stadium is a 42-acre lot on Tropicana Avenue, a few blocks off the Strip. I mean, how else are they going to word that? Like, it's about 3 miles off the Strip. Oh, so you're in the middle of the Mojave?
No one knows.
You have nowhere to go.
You're in the Strip or you're nowhere.
So the big thing with this is there's a couple different arguments for why Las Vegas could be a good thing. Colin Cowherd's been on the Las Vegas football team bandwagon for, I want to say, before anybody else. He worked there and is for his media career for a little bit. And he talks about how 2 things. One, the people from Los Angeles during football games on Sunday, like they do already to go bet on the NFL, would bring in more of an influx of NFL fans just for Sundays, similarly to how Penn State is the 3rd largest city in Pennsylvania on Sundays during home games in the college football season, behind Philly and Pittsburgh. Penn State becomes the biggest. This is like, literally, it's a similar destination to Vegas in the way that there's nothing around University Park, College Park for Penn State. But the other end of the argument here is that, well, Vegas has some shady things going on. Vegas is literally a party city, right? I get LA's a party city too, and New York's a party city. Chicago could be a party city. Miami, but Vegas, isn't that going to be a bunch of guys coming in on a Thursday or Friday before the game, clubbing, raging, drinking, drugs,
Strip
whatever
clubs.
It could be, strip clubs, strippers, hookers, who knows? Francis,
I don't know.
good or bad idea?
Yeah, well, again, we're just kind of, it's similar to the points that I like to make when it comes to American sports, is we're often just overlooking the idea that the people that support this team in Oakland are just having their team shipped. Like, I don't give a fuck if you come to our games. See you later. Like, I'm just moving this stadium. Again, your home games are going to be there. You're no longer getting to watch your team as much.
Look,
and it's not even mentioned. It's just like, it happens. We need to make money. It's it's a year. We'll be back. We'll be drunker. We'll have experienced some strip clubs.
They're just going to go for a year?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like,
No, it's like college. We'll go for 4. We'll get a degree from UNLV and we'll come back to Oakland.
but again, I'm not like.
They got the Warriors. They're fine.
No, but again, it's like it's a normality, Jason. That's what I'm saying. Is like we didn't really bring it up to this point.
to
It's
it,
like
man.
I can only imagine like Man United being like, we're gonna move to London for a year. Money thing, you don't need to worry about it. Just pack up your bag. Come with us. We've got houses there. You can come and live. It's just so.
It's a little bit
surreal.
hotter.
It's so surreal to me, but it's
colder.
Again, yeah, and I feel like many jobs in here is to like always bring this up a part of it because it's just like it's such a normality, and then it's so funny when you post things like ads on jerseys to make money so that maybe your team doesn't need to be dragged everywhere else. People are like, I don't want to go to the T-Mobile Arena and watch Jordan dunk with a badge on his shirt, even though it's called the T-Mobile Arena already. It's funny to me.
You make a good point, Francis. We do drag our teams around in the United States,
but no one brings it up.
But we're used to it, man. The Raiders have a following fan base. I think they'll be fine. Edwin, you are one of our production guys here in the studio. Is a Raiders fan? Would you follow them to Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Sin City
Raiders.
Is that because you want to follow your team, or just because you want to go to Vegas for that weekend, and that can be an excuse?
See, look at this. The best of both worlds.